Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated a Hindu temple built on the ruins of a mosque. The opening of the temple in the city of Ayodhya comes as Modi campaigns for a third term as Prime Minister. It fulfills a key campaign pledge to Hindu nationalists from whom the project has symbolic value. The destruction of the 16th century mosque in 1992 sparked religious rioting in which thousands of people, mostly Muslims, were killed.
For many Hindu devotees, the construction of this temple fulfills a long-time dream. This man, India's powerful Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has made that dream come true. There is now a monument to mark the birthplace of Lord Ram, a god who Hindus believe was born here 7,000 years ago. My heart is overjoyed. I'm experiencing such happiness and enthusiasm, I don't know what to do.
To have back this temple, the gems, of Lord Rama's place, I think for India, it's something amazing.
But for others, the temple is a reminder of a violent episode that shook the foundations of secular India. The Ram temple has been constructed on the disputed site of the centuries-old Babri mosque. Devout Hindus say about 500 years ago, a Muslim emperor built the mosque over Ram's birthplace. In 1949, 2 years after India's independence from British rule, local officials closed the mosque after Ram idols were placed inside. Many Hindus believe the idols appeared by divine intervention. For decades after, Modi's political party, Bharatiya Janata Party, joined campaigns for the construction of a temple on the mosque site. Tensions over the site came to a head in 1992 when the Babri mosque was destroyed by a Hindu mob. The demolition triggered riots that killed at least 2,000 people, mostly Muslims, across India. Sometimes when you're deeply hurt, you neither speak nor cry. We have not come out of that situation. The pain and trauma of demolition. There is no one to protect us or give us justice. This feeling is there since December 1992 until today. The legal processes for the construction of temple went on for decades, and ultimately the site was handed over to Hindu groups. It's one of several moves that makes many of India's 200 million Muslims feel under threat, especially since Modi's Hindu-nationalist Party came to power in 2014.
There is a fear that this government and all the affiliates, they want to wipe out all traces of Muslim or Islamic civilization from the country. On the one side, they want to change names of all cities which have a Muslim-sounding name. On the other side, they want to get rid of virtually every mosque. And the courts are happy to accept petitions on whatever pretext.
The ceremony also marks the unofficial start of Modi's campaign for a third term. An event rich in religious symbolism that means victory to Hindus across India. But for the country's Muslim minority, a deep loss.
And let's get more now. We are joined by DW's Delhi Bureau Chief, Amrita Chima. So, Amrita, we've been seeing there, despite this huge spectacle on the part of Modi, there is also this deep loss for the Muslim community. What do many Muslims fear now?
Yes, Sarah, it was a huge spectacle that we've been seeing the last few days, which culminated with the consecration of the idol of Ram today at the Ram temple. The Hindus, of course, view this as a historic day, especially believing Hindus. But for the Muslim minority of India, the mood there is very subdued. As we heard that this temple has been consecrated on disputed territory, what used to be a disputed territory, till 2019, when the Supreme Court gave handed over this legally to the Hindus to build their temple. Now, the Muslims accepted this legal decision at that point, but the wound has been festering. And as a minority in India, they already feel under threat, and they're now worried this has set another precedent and more mosques will be destroyed on the basis that maybe they were built on a temple. So the mood among the Muslims is pretty downbeat at the moment.
And it's been really interesting, Amrita, to see that Modi has chosen this event to be the unofficial launch of his campaign for re-election. Those elections taking place in India later in April or in May this year. Talk with us a little bit about the timing of the unofficial launch of his campaign.
Well, Prime Minister Modi has never claimed that this is an unofficial campaign launch for the elections. Neither has he mentioned elections in this context. But of course, as you said, the timing has made many people, especially the opposition, say that this is obviously linked to the upcoming election because this temple isn't even fully complete and yet this consecration has taken place. And they believe this is really to actually woo voters ahead of the election. And given that Modi today described this consecration as a divine moment. And given that he's been able to generate such excitement and religious, practically frenzy across many parts of India over the consecration of this temple, makes people believe that maybe this will give him a huge boost in the upcoming election.
Talk with us a little bit more about Modi's appeal to Hindu nationalism and what it means for the future of secularism in India and the strict separation of the state from religious institutions. What have we observed so far? What is he promising in the future if he wins?
Well, certainly there is a big concern and a big question here about what events like this mean for the secular fabric of the nation. Now, India has a constitution which is secular and which strictly separates religion and politics. And an event like this where the government or the Prime Minister is so closely involved makes people feel that this is probably not good for the safeguarding the secular nature and the secular fabric of India. And of course, Modi says, but this is, he's obviously speaking to the Hindu majority and his message appears to be resonating. But he also talked about the dawn of a new era. And many people see this Hindu assertiveness a bit kind of problematic in the context of a secular nation. He also talked about breaking away from the shackles of slavery. So there is a big question, of course, that what does he mean by that? Is he talking about a Hindu India or an independent India or a secular India? But the big questions people are asking, especially secular Hindus who believe in Ram but do not believe that an event like this has a place in a secular nation.
Amrita Chima, DW's Delhi Bureau Chief. Thank you.